So welcome back to the studio, and today we've got another big head-to-head, and that is the new Stealth UDI versus the Stealth DHY. So as always, going to be hitting shots on quad, head-to-head, looking at ball flight characteristics, performance characteristics, forgiveness characteristics. So let's see how these things perform. Nice, that was really nice. What a ball flight that is. Whew. I will take that shot every day of the week. Whew. It's going to be very interesting to see these numbers. So yes, it's time for the whole please subscribe jargon, so please subscribe. We're going to have a lot more content coming. I'm going to be putting these head-to-head against the older sim clubs that they're obviously replacing to see how they perform head-to-head. We've got loads and loads more content coming, so please subscribe. So first up, UDI. Oh, that's such a good strike. Just leaked it a touch. Nice, that was really good. So, first things first, that was right out the screws. Oh, path's just getting a little bit inside. Good start though. So first things first, shaft in them both is exactly the same, which is pretty much the stock one that comes with it. I haven't pulled these apart yet. It's the Aldela Ascent. There's a 100 gram X Flex, so same in both. Got both the heads set to the same loft. Well, same, there's within like 0.2 of a degree, so it's really not going to make any difference to performance. It's only because we've got the Sim UDI 2, which is 18 degree as standard, and then the, did I say Sim? I might have said Sim. Stealth. Stealth UDI 2, which is 18 degrees. The Stealth DHY 3, which is 19 degrees as standard. So I wanted to kind of meet in the middle at 18.5, but this actually came in at 17. And the DHY actually came in at 19, so there's actually 2 degrees separation there. This, it's got Forge written on it, but it does not want to bend. So I managed to get this to 17.4, 17.5, and then I bent that weaker. So I got that from 19 to 17.6, I think. So they're basically playing the same loft anyway. So, and that's just really to see how these heads perform against each other. Same length, same shaft, same loft. Just the head design. So how much difference does that make? That's going to be the really interesting factor here. And obviously it's a bit of a review as well of the product, being the new Stealth replacing the Sim. Technology remains pretty much the same. I mean, hollow body, speed foam, through speed pocket or slot, I don't know what they call it nowadays, but yeah, it's a good technology that TaylorMade had for a while, to be honest. It's kind of like the slot at the bottom, which obviously increases face flexion and flexion. Gives more ball speed off bottom hits, more forgiveness, all that kind of stuff. They've made the speed foam apparently a bit less dense, so therefore it's lighter, so that's enabled them to reposition mass a little bit more to really fine tune in kind of launch and spin characteristics and all that kind of stuff from the previous model. That would be one of the only major changes really. The profile still looks exactly the same in terms of the head shape, size. I mean, obviously the UDI being the much more kind of player's shape, much smaller head, not 790 small, but obviously the top line is smaller. You can still see a little bit at the back, but it's not too bad. And then the DHY obviously being much, much larger, but we'll touch on that again later. So the format's going to be the same as always. I'm going to be hitting X amount of shots on quads, 10, 15 with each, whatever it may be. I will take out any really bad ones, but I'll leave in any semi-decent shots really. We want to get a good idea of how these heads actually perform head-to-head. Again, this isn't really a fitting video, it's a performance-based video. I want to see how these heads perform. So the hole 2, 10 pines, I don't know what that really means, nothing, but 260 yards to the flag, second shot into a par 5, a bit irrelevant really, but just nice to hit on a hole. So yeah, the Sim, oh God, I need to stop doing that. It's definitely not a Sim. Stealth UDI is obviously the more players profile. So squat front to back, CG further forward, higher up, those kind of things to decrease launch, decrease spin, to really get that rocketing ball flight. So that's what this video is about, right? We're going to see, does it do that? Does it do that when compared to the DHY anyway? Just got a little bit of a push going on. We're going to be okay, second shot into a par 5. Going to leave a lovely chip over the bunker. Just think I'm getting a little bit inside on it. Yeah, 5 inside, okay. 11, 8, 29. I mean, straight off the bat, it's pretty decent kind of. That one launched up a little bit because I leaked it to the right, which you're going to do. But pretty low spin, which is exactly what I'd expect from a 2-iron. We don't want it spinning up a lot. We want that low penetrating, low launch, low spin. It feels good. I mean, I'm going to do a Stealth versus Sim. So I've still got the 2-iron of the Sim here. So I'm going to pull this apart, get my adapter in so I can put any head in any shaft. I'm going to be doing a head-to-head of those two to see how they actually perform. But yeah, like, that's really kind of exactly what I'd expect to see. Oh, that was a good strike. Just turn that one a little bit. Just trying to reduce that right miss. We will hit the green at some point today. We will hit the green. Some good efficiency that though. 147, 150 ball speed. I mean, that is pretty hot. It does, I don't know, describe how it feels like. It doesn't feel fast or slow or cracky or soft. It's kind of very just in the middle, I'd say, to be honest. Just good. That's super thin. Still did very well, to be fair. Very well. Yeah, look at that strike. Ooh, baby. A little bit low necky coming in. Actually, I mean, still carried 230. That's pretty decent. So one thing about 2-irons is obviously it's very romantic. People love the idea of having a long iron if you're more comfortable with irons. And I mean, that's why the DHY can be a good option, which we'll discuss later. But ultimately, I don't really recommend them unless you're a pretty competent ball striker, because generally you do get punished a lot, far more than with kind of hybrids and fairway woods and stuff like that. But they are getting better and better and better. And I have noticed that I've got a T200 2-iron. It's very, very forgiving compared to the old ones. Like the old Titleist TMB, I mean, the T200 is such an improvement over that. Like, I don't know why I referenced that. I think it's because I used to have one, so I kind of know how it played. But it's just, they are getting a lot better, but you still got to be a decent ball striker. There's one straight. Oh, stay left, stay left. Oh, yes, there we go. I got a nice little kick down there. That felt pretty good. That felt pretty good. Yep, pretty much exactly where we want to strike it. I know it still looks like it comes out a little bit thin, but as I've said on a few other videos, actually go forward, see if you can get that on there. Finally found the focus. Yeah, so I have the dots kind of halfway up the face. So essentially, we only really want to be hitting it kind of there. And the only reason I have the dots there is because I actually find that quad just picks it up better. If you put it lower down the face, sometimes it struggles with picking up all the data. So just being aware that actually when it looks about 8 to 10 mil low, it's pretty good. Oh, that felt very nice. That was very good. 250 carry. That was about as good as I can hit that. Yep, perfect strike. 11 launch, 28 spin. Yeah, it really is coming out kind of hot. Not the ideal shot for a second shot into a par 5, to be fair. Probably want more of a kind of 7-wood, 5-wood, something like that. But that was pretty good. So I'm going to get some more. I'm not going to show you all of them, obviously, because it would just be a very long video, which I'm already bad for. And then at the end, I might hit a couple with my new little contraption. Don't know if you've seen my last video. If not, I'll post a link below. It's called the 280-yard 4-iron. So it's a bit of a crazy club that I've concocted. It'll just be really interesting to see how it performs against these. Very good one to end on. That was pretty good. Very nice. Yeah, definitely get some good speed out of this thing. 151 ball speed, 105 club. Okay, 11.5 launch, 2800 spin. I mean, it's pretty similar to what I was seeing like first few shots, really, wasn't it? So, very good one to end on. Yeah, so that was 20 shots, 19 shots I hit with that. It was decent, a couple pulled. couple short right, but quite a few. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on the green, 3, 4 left bunker, 3 right bunker. Pretty decent to be fair on the whole. So yeah, pretty impressed. Now let's jump into DHY, see how that performs. Right, time for the big boy, the DHY. A little bit pushy, which definitely tends to be my shot at the minute, but the strike was good. Yeah, nice. Definitely looked like it popped up a little bit. Again, it was a little bit pushy, which open face, more loft, more launch, all those kind of things. But yeah, strike was good. I mean, I wouldn't be unhappy with that coming into a par 5. Now, technically, and this should be, like for this kind of shot, a better club. So we're talking bigger, wider, deeper head, CG lower and further back, trying to help that ball create more launch, a little bit more backspin, a little bit more height, therefore a little bit more descent angle. So for this kind of shot, should be better, hopefully, we'll see, in theory. So yeah, it really is just designed around that kind of player that just needs a little bit more help getting it up, but maybe just likes the kind of idea or look a little bit more of an iron than a hybrid or a wood. I mean, this really is right in the middle, isn't it? It's a big chunky head. You can see a lot of mass down there behind it, but it's an iron face, so kind of gives you that iron feel. So it's perfect for that sort of player that likes the look of an iron, but wants that little bit more help, that little bit more lift, especially for a shot like this. So we'll do the same sort of thing, hit kind of 15, 20 shots, that kind of thing, enough so I'm pretty happy with a good data set. And yeah, we'll take a look at the numbers. That's interesting, or will be interesting, because that was toey. I mean, wow, that flight is just up, isn't it? That is certainly popping up. I mean, striking it a little higher on the face, which is going to be contributing to that a little bit. But that was toey. That didn't feel particularly good, I'll be honest. It didn't feel like a really crisp strike, that one. Nice high draw, 243 yards of carry rolling out to 260. I mean, from that, I cannot grumble at that. That's impressive. That was nice. That was really nice. What a ball flight that is. Whew. I will take that shot every day of the week. That was nice. Strike starting to group nicely. That's really good. 12, 3,000. Yeah, I mean, that's 144 efficiency, 150 ball speed. Whew. It's going to be very interesting to see these numbers. Yeah, that was okay. A little higher in the face, that one, but again, I won't really be grumbling at that, to be honest. Yep, it's a little higher in the face, so we see that spin drop down a fraction. Again, still 145 efficiency, which is phenomenal. 250 carry. It's decent. I'll be honest, I really don't mind the look either. Like, it is a big, chunky head, but it feels actually really good when you hit it. If anything, I would say it maybe feels a little softer than the UDI. A little bit, I don't know if it's just my perception maybe, but, and that big chunk, the heft kind of just, it makes me feel like I'm just going to be able to get through it a bit more. I don't know, everyone's had that feeling when you hit a long iron, especially a 2 iron, you don't quite catch it, you get the real vibrations coming up. This actually psychologically, I think, gives me a little bit more confidence stood behind the ball, which, yeah, whether that actually ties into playing a better shot, I mean, there's so many variables in this game, isn't there? But yeah. It might well do. Go in the hole. Oh, kick a little left. Kick a little left. Oh, horrible kick. What a shot. This thing is pretty unreal, to be fair. Strike pattern again, good. Striking it really, really well. Actually I struggled with the UDI definitely more. This is just easier to hit, to be honest. Like, it just feels more forgiving, which it might just be me striking it better, to be completely honest, putting some better swings on it maybe, but the confidence grows. As the confidence grows, again, it might tie into the look a little bit. It just feels like I'm going to hit a better shot with it, and I am hitting better shots with it. Oh, stay left. Stay left. Oh, kick up. Oh, that'd be a nice bunker shot. But again, like, it was just a great shot. Zero side spin. zero side spin. That went dead straight. Obviously didn't start straight, but it went dead straight when it came off the face. Yeah, so I've just not struggled with that at all. Just found it so much easier than the UDI, just in terms of being able to strike it, which is incredible, really. And I'll admit something, I have already done this video once today because, long story short, got a new phone, the microphone didn't really sync, it was all over the place, so I figured that you need to get a different app to actually get it to work, but then the app, there's a setting to turn on the USB microphone, and I forgot to do that, so I did the whole video and didn't have any audio. So this is the second time I'm doing this video today, which is great fun. But I did think, it's okay, because I kind of found the swing, I'll be better off with the UDI this time, it'll be better, but it was exactly the same. Struggled a little bit with the UDI in terms of the dispersion, just couldn't really gel with it for whatever reason. This, so much easier, like so much easier. Confidence is up, like it just, the strike feels good. There was more better shot. Actually, looking at the dispersion, I'll put it on the screen at the end, but it's probably quite even, to be honest. Like, I felt like I struggled more with the UDI, but yeah, we will see. The numbers will tell us everything. So I'm going to hit a couple of my little contraption now. I won't do the whole screen record thing, and I won't show you the numbers at the end because I'll save it as a little surprise. But again, if you haven't seen the video, I'll tag it in the description below. This could be interesting. This is my little contraption. It is a Cobra LTD X4 iron. And as I said, if you haven't seen my video, I'll link it below. It takes you through all of the build specs of this, how I've tweaked the head, loft, lie, shaft, shaft weight, shaft flex, shaft profile, length, swing weight, how I've got it set up to essentially make a 4-iron play like a 2-iron. So I'm only going to hit a couple. I haven't changed the tag. That means I'm going to have to delete that one. There we go. Better strike. I did actually just hit a couple shots there because for some reason my swing went to absolute bits. Like just a few swings were just horrible. So yeah, everything is link in the description below. I will take you through everything with this. It'd just be really interesting for me to see, like, does this actually stack up against, you know, the modern 2-iron? That's the Stealth UDI is, well, the Sim UDI was a rocket, you know, absolute beast. So does this 4-iron, sort of, stack up against that? That's actually a good one. Yeah, 3145, I mean, this is a bit of a monster, this thing, to be completely honest with you. Bit of a monster. Right, so, now for the interesting bit. Let's have a look at these numbers. Right, so time to look at this data, and this is what I've really been looking forward to really dive in to see what the differences are in terms of ball flight between these two heads, especially at the same loft. So, ball speed, UDI 149, DHY 148.5, so less than a mile an hour in it. We've got a little bit more out of the UDI, which you might expect with the further forward CG, all those kind of things, hopefully delivering a little bit less loft, maybe therefore giving us a little bit more ball speed. You can see the launch UDI 11, DHY 12.5, so it's popping that launch up 1.5 degrees, which is great. Wouldn't mind seeing a little bit more than that with the head design, but that's still pretty good, to be honest, at the same loft, I will say. Spin 2900, 3200 almost, so it's kind of almost 300 revs of separation there as well. So we're seeing launch more and spin more as well. Again, wouldn't mind seeing maybe a touch more separation there within that spin, but again, for the same loft, it's still doing a decent job, to be honest. And we'll look at peak height and angle of descent and those things in a minute. But carry, I mean, it's bang on really, wasn't it? Like literally 1 yard in it. So it's doing a fantastic job therefore of kind of flighting the ball up a little bit, but it's still getting the same kind of end result. You can see the dispersion. I did delete any kind of really bad ones. I hit a couple of big lefts and a couple of big rights. It's a little bit all over the shop, mainly with the UDI, to be honest. The DHY was unreal, even with deleting the bad ones. See, the dispersion's like so much tighter with the DHY. That thing was just unreal. But yeah, carry, bang on, launch, 1.5 degrees in it-ish, spin about 300 revs. So let's take a little look at the club data as well, just to see if there's any dynamics or anything going on there. Right, so flicking onto the club data page, and to be honest, this is pretty remarkable because I don't think I kept any of the footage from the last video I did, but it was literally almost identical results in terms of the launch difference, the spin difference, and the dynamic loft. UDI 14, DHY 15, there was 1 degree in dynamic loft as well. So it's like, this is exactly how these heads differ, because literally I've done this test twice and the results have pretty much been identical both times. So you can see swing speed, I actually did swing the UDI a little bit quicker, which I did see that last time as well, just a smidge, mile an hour. But it does just feel like a little bit more aerodynamic, I suppose, a little bit of a smaller head, that DHY. It feels a little harder to move through the air, to be honest, with that little bit more heft. Not that it's heavier, but just a bigger, less aerodynamic kind of head. But I did get more efficiency out of the DHY just because I struck it a bit better, to be honest, more consistently. It was just far easier for me to find the center with that. As I said, dynamic loft, 1 degree in it, UDI 14, DHY 15, dynamic high 0, face within half a degree, path within half a degree, attack within half a degree, average strike, again, very, very similar, slightly lower on average with the UDI, which I saw last time as well. But like they're really, like within the club data there's nothing there apart from that little bit of dynamic loft, which again, we'd obviously expect to see with the CG differences in these heads, kind of the UDI being a little bit kind of further forward and higher up, and the DHY being a bit further back, lower down, maybe trying to, again, kick that up, lead deflection, a bit more loft, a bit more launch, all those kind of things, which is done. And it's done a decent job, to be fair. So I'm just going to double check the peak height and angle of descent as well. So I'll pop them up on the screen, maybe kind of like here somewhere or something. So the UDI was 90 feet in the air, peaked at 90. The DHY was 105. So we saw a 15 feet peak height increase, and we saw the descent angle come from 38 with the UDI, so the angle that the ball's landing in, 38 with the UDI, and 42 with the DHY. So 4 degrees steeper with the DHY, which is great. It's kind of, to be honest, it's doing exactly what it's supposed to be doing, kind of increase in launch, increase in spin, increase in the peak height, increase in the angle of descent for 2 different people and 2 different reasons as well. For me, you know, if I really wanted that low stinger off the tee, you're going to go UDI. If you want that kind of in-between club, something that could possibly be used for both and coming into greens, you're going to go DHY all day long. But they both got purposes, both did exactly what they were kind of supposed to do. And yeah, really, really impressed with both, to be honest. So I'm going to add my little LTDX in just quickly, just to see what the differences are, and then we'll sum up. So that's actually interesting, to be fair. That's quite interesting. This is why I wanted to do this a little bit more for me, to be honest. But again, if you have seen the video, it'll be interesting for you as well. Ball speed, 149, pretty much the same. Launched 12.5. So actually launched fairly similar to the DHY, so it's doing great. It's doing unbelievably well for the loft of that, because that loft of that LTDX is not the same as this. It's less loft, and if you want to find out, go and watch that other video. Less loft, so the fact that it's launched at 12.5 did fantastic. So it's high launch, low spin, 2600. So it's given me the launch of the DHY, but the spin less than the UDI. So it really is, and therefore obviously picking up, you know, 5-6 kind of yards of carry as well. That thing is an absolute monster, to be fair. Yeah, that's really interesting. But do go and take a look at that video and let me know what you think. Sum up. So there we go. I really hope you enjoyed that video. Just a good head-to-head, in-depth look at those 2 heads, how they compare with each other. Really, really interesting. Really enjoyed that. I hope it kind of answered any questions that you might have about those heads, or if you're thinking about kind of getting one over the other and what one might be used for over the other. I will say the DHY just was unreal, to be honest. Much, much easier to hit, in my opinion. So if you're someone that does like the idea of kind of a 2-iron, but feel like maybe your ball striking isn't quite there, definitely try the DHY. The looks of it may put some people off because it is quite big, it is quite chunky, but honestly, once you start hitting it and you just see the results and the ball flight, and I hit a few toey and still carrying 240, nice high ball flight, really is a very, very impressive club, so definitely give it a try. And yeah, please stay tuned, please do subscribe, because we are going to be trying to bring you lots more informative content. And again, anything that you like, comment below. If you've got any questions about this video, comment below. More than happy to get back to everybody. And yeah, I will see you in the next one.